Hi everyone, my name is Bethany Hunt and this is my presentation for standard number 6 assessment. For this week I used Pitch to create a slideshow. Standard number 6 states, the teacher understands and uses multiple methods of assessment to engage learners in their own growth, to monitor learner progress, and to guide the teachers and learners' decision making. The first example of standard number 6 in the classroom comes from my own high school experience. One history teacher I had assigned projects at the end of every unit we covered. He gave us a list of people, places, events, or structures that we covered during the unit and allowed us to choose one to complete a project over to show our understanding of what he covered. We were free to choose how we wanted to complete our project, and some options he gave us were videos, presentations, models, or written papers. We also had a written test after each unit that served as a summative assessment. This is an example of providing learners with multiple ways to demonstrate their learning and a commitment to using multiple types of assessment processes to support and verify learning. And on this slide, I just included a picture that represents some of the ways that we might have turned in our projects in the class by building a model and then including little tidbits of information about it. The second example of standard number 6 in the classroom also comes from my own school experience. A student in the grade above me was born with severe vision loss. He had high-powered prescription glasses and still needed print blown up to a very large font to see it. His vision loss was so great that he had to hold the image or the print right up to his eyes to read it. Despite his vision loss, he was a very accomplished musician in the school band. His teachers provided all handouts in a font that he could see and read all tests and assignments to him if he couldn't make out the text. This is an example of making accommodations in assessments and testing conditions for students with a disability. And my image on this slide is just of large text. The student that was in school with me would have had to put his face up to the computer with his eyes almost touching to make out the letters or the text in this picture. The non-example that I can think of after studying this week's standard is not using both formative and summative assessments or not using different types of assessments to meet each learner's needs. If formative assessments do not take place during learning, there's no way for teachers to truly know if their students are understanding the content until they test them with a summative assessment and it's too late. Waiting to assess knowledge at the end of a unit through a summative assessment sets students up for failure. Failing to provide different types of assessments does not allow teachers to identify each student's learning needs. When teachers use formative assessments to determine how their students learn best, they are better able to differentiate learning experiences that meet each student's needs. And for this image, I just included the assessment cycle: teach, measure students' understanding, reflect, plan and improve, and teach again. And for my second non-example that I can think of is not providing effective descriptive feedback in a variety of ways for students. As a student myself, I want feedback on my assignments because I want to know what I did well and what might need a little extra work next time. Without effective feedback conveyed in a way that students understand, they will not know how to improve their work. When providing feedback to students, it is helpful to know them and how they communicate best. Some students will do well with a written note on their assignments, while others might need a short conversation to understand the feedback that is being provided to them. I think it's important for educators to understand that text is not always taken the way it is meant to come across. And my image for this slide just shows an assignment with an F that just says needs work. And if I were a student that turned this in, I would wonder what needs work and what I need to do better for the next assignment.